Today's topic is reflecting graphs, and you can either flip a graph over the x-axis or flip it over the y. It's pretty easy. Let me tell you about what flips what, or how to look at it. Okay. In the bottom of your picture, I think your picture looks like this. You have a little bit of space down at the very, very bottom. Okay. If you will take that, and let me show you a picture. You draw a graph. Let's take a look at, for example, pretend this is 1, 1, and way up here we're going to call that 5, 5. If I flip over this to this side, which is flipping over which axis? If I flip over the y and I create those same points, so I just flipped y, didn't I? Okay. What does this become? This becomes negative 1, 1, and negative 5, 5. Now that's interesting. Look what happens. When you flip over the y-axis, when I hop over the y-axis, which values are actually changing? Right. So if you have positive x's, you're on the right. And if you change your positive to negative x's, where are you? On the left. So switching x's actually flips which axis? The y. Okay. So if you want to flip y when you have a negative x, or you want the opposite of your x's. Isn't that interesting if you think about it? So if I had positive x's over here, if I want negative x's over here, I'm hopping over the y-axis. Well, on the same train of thought, if you take another picture, and I'm going to go this direction, same exact line, 1, 1, and then 5, 5. And instead of hopping over the y-axis, I'm going to hop over the x-axis. I'm going to go from up to down. What's going to change now when I hop over? The y. Right. So this becomes 1, negative 1. And this becomes 5, negative 5. So when I flipped over the x-axis, so when you flip x, what does it do actually? Flipping x when you change your y's. Now, go to this part and read this for me. We sometimes call f of x y, don't we? Okay, so if I pretended like this was y, this is saying it wants the opposite of my y's. Okay, if you drew a little graph and thought about this for a second, if I want the opposite of my y's, here's positive y's, here's negative y's, positive y's, negative y's. Which axis am I hopping over? Right. So the opposite of my whole function, the opposite of my y's, okay, it's going to flip over the x-axis. And the transformations you've already done, so let's do what it says. It says take this function and then graph this. So it's saying the opposite of my function, which is kind of like saying the opposite of my y's. Right? So when you change your y's, it flips x. We've already decided that. So we're going to flip over the x-axis. Okay. My opinion to this is to go ahead and just graph the function that you have. This graph would go right 3 and down 4. And it's a square, so it's a parabola. I'm just going to graph 2 points, like 1, 1, and then make a parabola with a pencil. Come on guys, focus. Now then, the direction said, that's my original function, but we're not going to keep it. We're going to flip over which axis? The x. Okay. What you should do then is get a different color Or, make that one really very light, and we're going to use this one really dark. That works too, the pencil. Then we're going to flip every single one over the X. So if I'm starting at the center. If I went down 4, I'm now going to go up 4. Here I went down 3, I'm going to go up 3. And there's my flip. And you have to label it. This is going to be called but watch, if you're struggling with that, I'm flipping over the x-axis, I'm flipping over this axis. So I went down 4, I'm going to go up 4. I went down 3, I went up 3. You see the thing? You just hop back over the x-axis, each point. So you hop over, and then hop again. Does that make sense? Yep. If it didn't, let's do another one. This is going to go left 3 and down 4. So let's start there. You're here. And you're going to make a hill graph. I don't know what you remember about the square root graph. But the square root is the one that you go out 1, up 1, out 4, up 2, right? The square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 4 is 2. So over 1, up 1, over 4, up 2. That is the square root graph. What did it ask us to do? The opposite of our y's. Think about it. If I'm down here, I'm going to go here. Which axis am I hopping? Right. The opposite of my y's flips what axis? What's it going to flip? I'm going to flip over the x-axis. So if you had trouble flipping, then watch. I'm going to flip over the x-axis. This is the x-axis. I'm going to jump over it. So I had jumped down 5. And I'm going to jump over at 5. Go to the next point. I had gone down 4, so I'm going to only go up 4. Right, we're hopping over the x-axis. This is the x-axis. I'm going to hop here, here. This one had gone down 3, so we're going to go up 3. And then just connect the points. Hop each point. Hop over the x. We're going down. I'm hopping over the x. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is different. What axis is this? Oh, I didn't label it. You should label this. What does this say? This doesn't say what it did up here, the opposite of y. Do you see how it looks different? This one has the opposite of only what, guys? The x. Think about a graph. If you do the opposite of your x's, what am I hopping over? Opposite of x flips flip over y. Okay? Let's graph it and try. We graph the function in pencil first. Left 1, down 6. This is a V graph. So it's out 1, up 1, out 2, up 2. Then it says opposite of x. Opposite, look right here. The opposite of x flips y. So we're going to flip over y, which is, this is my y-axis right here. Okay, now actually watch. Look up here and I'll show you how to flip over y. This is my y-axis. So now I'm going to hop over this. Okay? So if I was here and I'm going to hop, where am I going to hop to if I'm hopping over y? Here, and do each point. So start the bottom of the V. I'm here. Check in and see if you agree. Did you see it? Okay. Now then, this one's kind of strange. This one's this point right here is gonna, you have two left, so we're gonna hop over, you would be here. And this one's here. It's just the same V. Just hop your V over. Now go to this problem. This is an easy one. I just want you to go right 2, and then out 1, up 1, out 4, up 2. Graph it. And you could try. Try and see if you can book it. Look at what it tells you. In the directions, it says graph this function right here, which says the opposite of x's. Well, if I'm going to hop x's, what I'm hopping over, flip over what? Y. Flip over the y. Flip each point. Flip each point. It seems tricky. The hill graph is tricky. Watch. I'm here. This is my y-axis. So I went right 2. I'm going to go left 2. Agreed? Flip each point. This went right 3, so I need to go left 3. This went right 4, I need to go left 4. Well, sometimes it's harder to do than, oh, it's 6 actually. And then label it. Okay? Now let's move to the next page. They're a tiny bit different. This is what we have. This says the absolute value. What does absolute value mean? What does absolute value mean? Always what? Positive. So this is saying, okay, y is positive. So all y's are positive. If you look at a graph, here's a little tiny graph. If you look at this graph and you're talking about the y's, which quadrant are all my y's positive? Which quadrant are wait a minute, all my y's?
1, 2.
That's all my x's. 1 and what? 2. Here's positive y. Do you agree? Up here, down here's everything negative. Up here's everything positive. For example, this ordered pair might be 3, 3. And this one might be negative 3, 3. But no matter what, the y's are always positive. Okay? So all y's are positive, which means that all your graph must be above the x-axis. All your y's must be above the x-axis. If we tried this, look at number 2. This problem here, is the whole picture already above the x-axis? Yeah, that's why this is really easy. So number 2, it's done for you. You don't even have to do anything. Just trace it, and you're done. That one's cool. But is there some problems with the first one? There's 2 sections that aren't above. Okay, so this is my advice. Start on the left side. Are you ready? Okay, and start tracing. Okay, look up here to help you. This right here means all points above x, right? That's what it means. Start tracing from the beginning, from left to right. I'm going to move here. When do I have to stop? I have to stop at this point. If you're using pencil, just shade it darker. Why do I need to stop there? Yeah, that V drops below. Now, over on the side, to physically show you, if you have a V and you want to flip a V, what shape are you going to have now? That, right? So this V, which is what's here, if I flip it up, it's going to look like this. If you flip this V up, right? So I think that we're going to move this point to here. And what am I going to make now? I'm going to take this section and make a V going the other direction. Do y'all see that? I'm going to take my V and flip it to an upside down V. Okay, go to the next part. This part's above X, so we're good, right? Because the direction said all points have to be above X. The next part, still above X. Where do I have to stop? Yeah. Stop right before I go under it. I'm not allowed to go under the X. Now that's a half a V. If you have this half a V, flip the point up. How am I going to make it look? Draw half your V. And that look like I flipped it? And then label it. Okay, the next problem wants you to take one graph and do 3 things to it. So in pencil, I'm going to graph this graph. And just do 3 points. You don't need to make a whole huge graph, okay? So this is a U, a parabola. We're going to go left 4 and up 1. We're going to make a U. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do out 1, up 1. That's enough to see my U. Okay, graph it each time. Come on, let's go. Out 1, up 1, each one. Okay, so the first thing it wants is, this is kind of like saying the opposite of my y's, which means we're going to flip over the x, right? Opposite of y's. So if you have a u, it's going to flip down. Do you see that? If you're not sure, hop over. I'm up, I hopped up 1, hop down 1. I hopped up 2, I'm going to hop down 2. There you are. Make sense? It doesn't slide down. Hop all 3 points. What about this? All needs to be above x. Are we already all above x? Yes, just trace it. I didn't label that, I'm sorry. The next one says opposite x. So opposite x flips y. Okay, now if you're struggling with flipping, watch me. This is my y-axis. You're going to hop over it. So if I was here, left 4, I'm going to go right 4. If I was right 5, I'm going to go left 5. Okay? Okay, now try this one, number 2. It wants what? What does it want? Opposite of y means flip over the x. Okay, this one looks weird and it gets really messy and looks funny. So if you'll do it the way I show you, it will help. Okay, hop a point, connect. Hop a point, connect. Hop a point, connect. Don't hop all the points and then try to connect it. It will be this giant maze. It's really weird. Okay, so jump, connect. Jump, connect. You understanding what I'm trying to say? Okay, so here, let's try. So I'm going to flip over which axis? We'll go to the x. Here's my x-axis. I'm going to jump over that line. So I've jumped, and just guys, for now on counting, just kind of estimate for right this second because your graphs are so little. Okay? So I'm about right here. I'm going to jump over it. Y'all see that? I have nothing to connect to. Jump, connect. Jump, connect. So this one, I'm going to put a little check mark. I've jumped that one. Which one should we jump next? Go sweep left to right. Let's jump this one. It gets confusing if you don't mark them off. I'm going to jump here. Just kind of estimate where it's at. It's about right here. What's my next step? Jump and then what? Connect. Come on, people, I lost you. Please, stay with me. There you go, I'm connected. What's my next step again? Well, I've done this one, let's mark off this one. Let's jump this one over the x-axis. I'm about like right here. So I did my jump, now what am I supposed to do? Connect. If you don't connect, it doesn't work. It looks really weird. Okay, so I've jumped 1, 2, 3. I'm on this jump. You have to work in order, left to right. Jump this one is about here. And then what's my last step? Connect. Have I jumped everything? Yeah, flipping over the x-axis is a lot easier than flipping over the y. Look, my upside down V became a V. My V became an upside down V. You see it? Okay, we're going to skip this for right now and go to this one. It's hard. Number 4. This is the opposite of x, so we're going to flip over the y. Ready? This one's a lot harder. Plot a point, connect. Plot a point, connect. Work on your graph from left to right. So the first point we're going to flip is this one. So I'm flipping over the y, so I'm way over here. Check, done. Go left to right. Which point am I going to flip now? This one, double check mark on it. I'm going to hop over the y, just barely over the y. So there I am, connect. Hop, connect, hop, connect. Now I'm going to hop this one over the y, which is about right here, and then connect. Hop the next one, which is about here, and connect. The last hop is this one. Hop and connect. And get it quite high. That one looks weird. A flip over the y looks strange. Okay, we're out of time. Why don't you, we'll work on the other one as a warm-up tomorrow.